Oh, welcome back to this random table where I fix stuff. Today we have this Facit style calculator. I'm not sure if this is an actual Facit calculator or just a clone. All the name tags have one off of it, so there's no branding or anything on it. So this could either be like a very early original Facit style, or it could be one of the Eastern European clones that like to copy the Facit calculator. So not sure. I might have to do some research to figure that out. Anyway, we're gonna see if we can get this to work today. I did play around with the keyboard a little bit, and it's jammed. You see the handle won't move past there, so we got to figure out why it's jammed. Alright, the first thing we can do is take the cover off. Actually, let me show you the whole view at first. So it's got left and right arrows on the front here. 0 to 9, and then traditional Facit style keyboard. This mystery key I think is the division shift all the way over key. We've got our decimal sliders here. We've got, I think this is clear for the input register. This might be clear for the input register. This I think is clear for the counter here. And then this might be clear for, so this might be clear for the input. This is clear for the counter, and I think this then might be clear for the accumulator. We've got the handle on the side with the pull-out knob for release. All it says on the back is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's embossed patent there, but the label is completely gone, so nothing really on that side. And then on the top, again, looks like there's some residue, but no label. And then on the bottom, I think all that's there is the serial number, which is right there, but again, no label or anything. So I'm not sure whether this is an actual Facit or one of the Eastern European clones. So anyway, you can take this off. There's just some regular screws in the cover here, and of course this is probably not the right screw. No, it's not the right screwdriver for them. So I'll have to take these out. I'm going to film this whole process because there's actually quite a few screws here. And I'm not even sure if this is all I'm going to take off. I might have to take the side panels off too. But I want to at least get a look at the inside of this thing. For some reason I'm failing to use the screwdriver properly. Will come out. This one will come out. Anyway, oh, that one's stuck now, so let's see if we can get this one out. Nope, that one's stuck too. Okay, I'll have to take them all out, all the way with the screwdriver, it looks like. There's one missing there. It's not entirely surprising that this cover would have been bent over time, and then not all the screw holes line up exactly. See that? Spring loaded. So, any in the back? Yes, there are 2 in the back. We'll just take those out real quick. No, this should come off, I think. Yep. Okay. So, let's see. The side panel, this side panel anyway, will not come off because of this handle. I'd have to take that handle off there. So now that we are in here, you can see a bit more of the rotating assembly. You can't see all that much. So I'm going to have to take this guy, and this guy even screwed on. Oh, looks like it might be riveted on. Looks like they had pins there and they just mashed the pins down once they put this on. So this might not come off easily. This will come off, but I'll take that off to clean it. Anyway, Let me see what else I can get off of here then, and see if we can see more of this mechanism, because you can't really see that much right now. So let me take a look. Alright, so I think I found part of our problem. So this is the entry register clearing. So you see how this thing pushes all the way over and then doesn't come all the way back? This is supposed to come all the way back like that. So when it's out like this, you see how there's a gap in the wheel there? As this cylinder turns around, because what happens is the cylinder turns around like that. If this is sticking out at any point, then it can't return to its own position because this thing sticks out too far. So if I do this, see, it doesn't want to turn at all now. Let's see if it'll work now. Yeah, see, it'll start to turn. See, then it gets stuck there. It can't return home unless this goes all the way back. And there's also something else here a little bit that catches there. So when this doesn't go all the way back, it catches on this thing pushed out, and it also catches on this little piece back here. The one that's back like it's supposed to be, then it turns around just fine. Let's see if we let's actually see if we can clear the accumulator here. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let's try that again. Okay, so accumulator is cleared. Let's try 1, 2, that's stiff. 3, so we got 1, 2, 3 entered. See if we can make a full rotation. We can, and you see it's added to that. Okay. So a couple things. I thought it should clear every time you make a rotation. I thought. Maybe not. I'll have to check into that, but that works for clearing except for the stickiness. So let me see if I can loosen that up. Also have to loosen the keys up that they're sticking like that. That should return on its own. So let me see if I can get this part loosened up and get the keys loosened up, and then see where we can go from there. Alright, so we're making some progress here. Fortunately, 8 is still sticking. 9 is still sticking, but the rest of these seem to be pretty good. I think the issue with this piece getting stuck was it might have been bent a little bit. It was hitting against this piece right here, so I bent it up just a little bit, and it seems pretty loose now. It really wants to return. Okay, and that's good. Our keys are getting better. I should do a calculation now. You can see, actually you can't see, if the answer is correct. There was something up with clearing the counter. That doesn't want to work. I can show you that in a minute, but clearing the entry register and clearing the accumulator seem to be okay. The issue with this one is, you can see right here, the spring is detached. That's supposed to be attached to a little catch down in here. You can see me poking it. Anyway, there's a little catch right there. You can kind of see it moving. That is supposed to be spring loaded against here to catch on a drive gear, but that spring is disconnected, so it's not catching. So I have to figure out how I can reconnect that, but otherwise you're getting pretty close. This is tab all the way over, which usually works. That's a bit sticky yet. Enter a number. This should be shift over. That seems to work. Backspace seems to work. This one doesn't always. Maybe you have to hit one number first, probably. You have to hit one number and then tab over. That would make more sense. That's for division. So it enters that number plus all the zeros afterwards, so you can get it all the way over to this side of the accumulator without having to enter all the zeros. So, making good progress so far. Next, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to reattach this spring here so that clearing will work properly. But other than that, just general use, I think will loosen the rest of this up. It's already getting better. Let's stick a little bit. Something stuck there, but anyway, overall getting better. It was getting better. Seems to have gotten worse somehow. But anyway, just using it like that will loosen this up, I think. Not sure why they're suddenly sticking now. Roughly. Interesting. Anyways, I'm gonna have to play around with the keyboard some more and make sure I can get these two freed up and also fix that little spring there. Okay, so I was able to reattach this spring here. So now, if I enter something, so I'm able to clear that. So anyway, either way we got all 9s, also clear. So it looks like clearing the counter is fixed, so all the clears seem to work fine now. And I am narrowing in on the issue with the keyboard sticking. Turn this on. So I'm not sure you'll be able to see in here. This piece right here, you can't really see that. You can kind of see it now. This piece right here, the one with the kind of the cutout in it there, is up too high. So, for example, if I push it down a little bit, so you're clearly then it's supposed to push it down, but it doesn't push it down all the way. So if I push it down myself a little bit, and then press the 9 key, it still got stuck. But if I push this down just a little bit, that frees up this, because this has a peg that hits the top of this piece. So let me try pushing it down here. It should stay down. Not sure it doesn't want to stay down. Earlier when I was experimenting, it did stay down. Now maybe it stayed down. Let's hit 9. Oh, no, I can't hit anything. What's going on here? Okay, we'll clear it out. Push this down if I can. There, now it stayed down. Now if I hit 9, see, it works fine. But notice that popped up, so if I hit 9 again, now it sticks. If I push, and the reason I'm pushing over here is because this is attached to the same thing. There's a rod that goes all the way through on this piece, and there's another flange over here that are attached to it. Just having trouble pushing it down there, so I'm pushing it down over here, and you can see that solves the problem. So I need to figure out why that keeps popping up and how to make it stay down while it's not staying down. So getting closer on that, I don't know if you can see down here, this piece is actually bent a little bit, and that's what is supposed to return that to home. So when I push the clear, you can see a finger comes down and pushes on that bent piece. So that's part of the issue, that it's not getting pushed all the way down. But another part is, even if I do push it all the way down, it likes to pop back up. So I need to figure that out first, and maybe I can bend that back up. Hopefully it'll stay down all the way. So I'm going to see what I can figure out there. But I think that's the last issue we have with this. Everything else seems to be working, so hopefully I can get that figured out. Alright, so I think I got this fixed now. Definitely much smoother. So the issue was close to what I thought it was, but it wasn't quite what I thought it was. So there's a cutout in, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. there's a cutout in the peg that comes out of this rod. You can't really see it, but the peg that rides up on top of this thing, there's a cutout in it. And I thought that this was hitting the top of that cutout in the peg, but actually this was hitting the side of the non-cutout region. So basically this was just bent over this way too far, so all I did was bend it back a little bit. And now this is, it has some resistance because it's, driving the digit wheels, but there's no resistance. See, this thing doesn't even move now. There's no resistance against this now. So what I discovered also was that this thing is actually detented, so this is 100% the right position for this, because if you look over at this piece, I'm sure you'll be able to see this piece right here, kind of buried down in there, but it has 3 little holes in it, and there's a sliding peg that slides back and forth in this region, and there's a spring on the other side of it, so that this is detented. So that's why if you push it down, it wants to, it doesn't always stay there. See, it pops right back up into the detented position. So you can push it up 1 detent. If I can push it back down, maybe that would be useful. Maybe. Yeah, then it pops down into the other detent. So this is 100% the right position for this. It's not up too high. It was just bent. This piece is bent a little bit to the left. How that happened, I don't know. If you look over here, you can see that the machine was dropped at one point. This was all bent in. So whether that dropping had other effects or what, I don't know. But either way, it seems to be functioning fine now. So put the covers back on this and give a little demonstration. And I can show a little bit of how it works first. So all these rods here are the back end of the keyboard, and what they do is they rock these things either forward a certain distance or backward a certain distance, and these things have little rollers on the end of them that go inside the drums on the sliding input register. And basically this is rocking the drum up and down to the desired digit position. So like if I push a 9, this will push all the way back, push it up to 9. If I push like say 2, this will go forward to push it to 2. And so on, each driven a different distance by the appropriate key on the keyboard. This is a modified pinwheel mechanism, so the distance that this is driven determines how many pins on the big drum stick out. And the different number of pins determine what number is added. So if I push this all the way back, it's going to cause 9 pins to stick out on that drum and add 9 when the drum is rotated. If I push this forward, it's probably only going to point to 2 and then only cause 2 pins to stick out on that drum when this is rotated. But yeah, not a super complicated mechanism. I mean, I didn't look at how all the drivetrain works and everything, but that's the basic principle of how this works. So I'll put the covers back on, and I think that'll be about it. So you can see here what I'm talking about. If I push this one back, you can see it rocks the digits back. Whereas if I push this one forward, you can see it rocks the digits forward. And then say if I push in like, now watch as the drum rotates around, you can see the pins sticking out here. So you got 1 pin sticking out and the rest are all in, 2 pins sticking out and the rest are all in, and then 3 pins sticking out and the rest are all in. And that determines how much gets added to the accumulator there as the pins go past and drive it. So looking good. Let's get the covers back on. Okay. And the brakes are on. There we go. Might need some work, but you might need some use to fully loosen everything up. so you can see that is correct, 3330. And try subtraction, we'll do, let's say, 345, and we'll subtract, say, 20. And we got 325, so that works. In your multiplication, we'll do 625 times 625. So we want to enter that 5 times. Then shift over, enter it 2 times, then shift over, enter it 6 times. 390625, so that is correct. And now we can do division, so we'll do 355, and then we'll shift all the way over, which is what that does. We'll add that in, everything out, and then we'll do 113, and shift all the way over, and then we'll start subtracting. Should have had a bell, I think. Well, maybe you have to crank it hard enough to hit the bell. So overflow, we return, we do 1 shift to the left. Had the bell that time. So just as you're going fast enough to hit the bell. Also, you can hear it in the video, it's very quiet. And we got our answer, 3.141592. So for those of you who are, I didn't explain this process because I've explained it multiple times before, but basically you're just subtracting each column until you subtract too many, in which case you got an overflow, which is why all the 9s appear up here and you hear the bell, and then you just add 1 back to correct the overflow, and then move on to the next column. So that all seems to be working. So I'm going to call this a success. This machine seems pretty good, really. It's had a rough life, obviously. You can see the dings in the paint and everything, and the missing key. It's worn off there, but functional. Everything seems pretty good. I might have to be used a little bit just to, finish loosening up the keyboard, but for the most part, seems pretty good. So as if you push it slowly, it doesn't always, well, that time it did. So, anyway, I think if you just use it, quite a bit, it'll fully loosen up the keyboard. But other than that, seems pretty good to me. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this look at either a very early Facit, maybe 20s or 30s if this is an actual Facit one, or if it's an Eastern European clone, could be 50s, 60s, somewhere in there, not sure. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.